Morning, morning, morning. May 29th. May 29th. Hey, quiet as it's kept, there's this drop dead gorgeous gal down in Southern California. Her birthday's tomorrow. If you're in the Palm Desert area, stop by and say hello to Lacey. Tell her happy birthday. Of course, Lacey was one of the original founding members of Alladay LLC. Had some family issues and went on to take care of her family and do stuff like that a couple of years back. Left me holding the bag, kind of, sort of speak. Anyways, hey, it's a great day. You can see already the gorgeous sunshine outside already. Little Missy already running around getting Mises this morning, you know. Hey, this is kind of a disturbing thing. Before we go any further, I want to say thanks to the all that gave some and the some that gave all. Sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate everything you guys have done, and gals. Now, my day, it was just guys. Gals were nurses. But now we have women and men fighting to protect the freedoms that this country was founded on, and not trying to be politically correct here or anything, because I could really give a rat's ass about being politically correct. But just kind of trying to be respectful here. There's a lot of madness out there in the world right now, and it's your choice. You want to live in madness, or do you want to live in kind of a copacetic environment where people go out and they go to work every day and they make money and they do stuff? It's your choice, folks. You can be buddies with these idiots that want to blow everybody up and have 70 virgins when they go to Utopia or whatever, but I'm not buying that story, so I don't think I want them to be my buddy. That's just me. I don't know, it's kind of a weird situation out there, but myself, I don't believe 90% of what I hear in the media right now, so, I guess the message I'm trying to say is do your due diligence. Just like in property preservation, due diligence. This is the weekend wrap, ladies and gentlemen. The weekend wrap, because we have an elongated weekend. We have a big weekend here. Going to do a little barbecue today. I hope you go with your loved ones. If you have military ones, give them a hug for me. Tell them I said thank you. Thank you very large. But we have some very, 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 very disturbing news on the latest HUD awardee. Holy cow. When I read this article, I thought the guy wrote it. I got him on the phone. I was talking to him. I thought I was talking to Haunty Mall, because behind door number 1, we had terrorism. Behind door number 2, we have fraud. And behind door number 3, there's a mystery. Money laundering, maybe? Who knows? I don't know. I could be wrong there, too. Like I said, ain't the first time I spun a plate and stuck it on the stick. But I'm kind of blown away. In this age of compliance, do I need to say who that's directed to? Hi, Mr. Miller. Compliance. How can an awardee for a HUD contract be given to someone who has terroristic ties, who has multiple layered businesses, which one of them has been tied to terrorist training, if I'm not mistaken? I could be wrong. I don't want to point a finger if I'm not right here. But I believe that, let me see here. I'm trying to find the name. This gentleman, and the person we're talking about, let's make no mistake here. Let's Tony Ibe Chine. Tony, Tony, Ibe is the middle name, Chynye. Chiney, Chinyi, I don't know, I would say Chine. I'm not trying to make fun of his name. I don't know how to pronounce it or enunciate it. Tony, I apologize. Maybe you can get a hold of me and let me know how to say your name. Now, I don't know much about Tony, but Tony was born in Nigeria. He came to the United States in 1984. Bachelor of Business Administration and Accounting from a Florida Atlantic University. He was customer service representative with the First Corporation in Boston, senior accountant from Sharpton Brunson Company, a certified public accountant in Miami, Florida, Principal Chine and Company, certified public accountant. What is disturbing about this, folks, is that when we look into who the award was made to, Tony Chine, and let me get pull something else up here while I'm talking to you. When we get to Tony Chine and we start looking, pulling the covers back, so to speak, it gets disturbing. It gets very disturbing because of how layered this guy is. $147 million contract. Oh, and by the way, the office address is empty. His office address is empty. Are you kidding me? Oh, and by the way, Market Ready and Purdy Enterprises are right in the middle of this. Of course, let me see, what's the guy's name? Mitch Davison, which is Market Ready's former vice president. Mitch Davison, he jumps over to Purdy Enterprises. So we got a little menage a trois thing going on with the business. PK Management is in the back of this too. This is just me. $500 million in awards going out. And here we have a guy. Oh, and by the way, foreclosurepedia.org, foreclosurepedia.org, ladies and gentlemen, you're up to the minute fraud reporting. He's got, this guy, Chine, is all over the housing development, all over HUD. Let me see here. One of the addresses that was given, it's an empty office building is what it is. And of course, foreclosurepedia.org is reporting, and boy, and I'll tell you what, when you do a search for the on Wiki about corporate search on this guy, he's tied to a whole bunch of things. Chine and Company, CPA in Pennsylvania. Let me see here. Ebbets Evaluation Services, LLC. Engineering, Inc. Solution Charities. We're already starting to see a picture here. Peter M. Lopez, Henry Aguina, Ola Alberte, Andrew Oregon, Ebbets Engineering Incorporated, Ike Chine. I'm going to have to say that's a brother or a family relative. We got Ferdinando De Costo, Chris Ricci, Joseph E. Alta. Man, some of these names. Chine and Casales in Pennsylvania. And they all lead into Hampton Professional Center. I can't even say some of these business names. They're unbelievably in. But what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, I could be wrong. But you don't layer companies like that unless you're laundering money. Unless you're doing something like the Clintons did with their foundation, and they do all this stuff. And pay for play, actually, it comes to mind here. Let me see. And of course, SAMJV LLC is the business. I would think that there's going to be some protests on this award, and rightfully so. There's some serious issues here. This is not a small business. And this is what I don't understand. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to think about this for a minute. Small business, 50 employees or less. how can a contract be given, a HUD contract be given to somebody like PK Management that has 200 employees in an office? How can an award be given to somebody who claims to be a national service provider? That is not a small business. It takes a lot to keep going. It takes a lot of revenue to keep running. And I personally think, and this is just my opinion, and I've consulted with a couple people and I've had conversations with a couple people in the industry, and I can probably say this. I've talked with Brian Mingham a little bit, and I find Mr. Mingham very, very knowledgeable in this industry. And Mr. Mingham is the only person in that management position, because he is National Real Estate Services, NRES. And I hear scuttlebutt. People keep sending me stuff, but you really don't send me proof that Mr. Mingham has screwed you out of your money. And before I go to bat for somebody, I got to have all the I's dotted and the T's crossed, ladies and gentlemen. Don't send me some poppycock about, I got back charged for whatever. Send documentation, send proof. And let me do a little business 101 self-promotion for just a minute. AllidayLLC.com. AllidayLLC.com. Let's get the whole sign in there, huh? AllidayLLC.com, ladies and gentlemen. Do you need some help? Little Business 101. Little Business 101. If you don't know how to document your work, it's very important that you document your work. Now, Lacey and I were, my old business partner, were probably better friends and still are than we were business partners. We bumped heads a lot because we have different philosophies in business. I'm a bulldozer. I plow straight ahead. I take no prisoners. Lacey's very diplomatic, will negotiate, and she's really good. She's a lot better than she gives herself credit for. But when you're doing all this stuff, you can't do things like not pay yourself. And this is, if you're not writing yourself a check at the end of the week, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a little mom and pop shop and you're out in wherever, but if you're a one-man show, you and your wife, you and your girlfriend, you and a buddy, whatever it is, if you're not writing yourself a check at the end of the week, making all the deductions, your Social Security, your unemployment taxes, your Medicaid, Medicare taxes, all that stuff that that everybody relies on in retirement. How the hell are you going to have any money when you retire? How, if something goes belly up, are you going to be able to collect unemployment? I want you guys to think about something for just a minute here. Okay? For 7 years, I ran a company. I had to lay myself off because we were shifting gears. Why I was laid off? Guess what? Because I wrote myself a check every week. I was able to collect unemployment until I got something else going. It's very, very critical. That's an element that so many people don't understand. And I'm sorry, I got to bang NAMFS here because in their business development, I have yet to see, all I've ever seen is people wanting to develop policies to come back and take somebody's money, or people want to do that. They don't develop a policy to help you make money. Something to think about, just something to think about. Now, speaking of making money, I'm going to tell you something right now. I don't know what the name of this company is. Let me see here if we can find the name of this company. It is called SAMJV LLC. I don't know. We'll find out here in just a minute. I'm on the Foreclosurepedia website as I talk right now. So let's see here. For years, Foreclosurepedia. The do not use list. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That is something else. Oh, that's the net neutrality article. How these people got passed any kind of compliance check. I don't know. And this is the problem I have with the National Association of Mortgage Field Services members demanding you send your employee your information overseas for a bullshit background check. What's wrong with the people right here in this country? What's wrong with giving a company in America, in the United States of America, Mr. Miller, what's wrong with giving a company that money to perform background checks? That's number one. Number two, Aspen Growth Solutions is a fraud. It's a scam. It's a sham. It's a layered company. They were shown to have forged documents, which is right up NAMFS's alley. Any company doing something illegal, they'll take you as a member. It just obviously appears. But make no mistake about this. The push on the background checks was to generate a revenue stream for management. That's all it was. It's been denied by Wells Fargo, by everybody in the top of the industry. It's been denied. No, we're not asking for background checks on the people scrubbing the toilets. They're asking for background checks on management, on the people writing policy to take your money, ladies and gentlemen. That's what the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau defined as needing anybody in control of the money. That's the national, not you. Yes, and everybody just lays down and goes along with it. Nobody stands up. International Association, Field Service Technicians. You need to look into them. Ladies and gentlemen, this recent HUD award, I don't know how to stress how disturbing it is. How disturbing it is. We really thought something was going to come up good here, and it didn't. A Strategic Alliance Management, SAMJB LLC. Strategic Alliance Management. And oh, by the way, yes, they are involved with PK Management. I don't understand how an award is given to an empty office. Mr. Carnes, Mr. Craig Carnes. Can you give us some insight? Can you give us a little bit of insight? How does a shadow company layered as many times as this guy is get awarded a contract? That doesn't make sense. Who did not do due diligence at HUD? This is not a small business, and this is becoming... My taxes go to HUD. Your taxes go to HUD. We, the people, we, the contractors, we, labor. I am labor. You are labor. We are labor. We are the ones being cheated right now by this guy here and by HUD giving them this award. We're the ones being cheated. I don't understand how somebody... let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Holy crap. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 33 some companies here. This guy's got his name on. How is that a small business? Did I miss something in school? Did I miss something? Did I misinterpret the IRS's definition of a small business? Did I misinterpret the Small Business Administration's definition of small business? What did we miss here? What did you miss, Mr. Carnes? A whole lot. Apparently, a whole lot. Yes, it appears that Strategic Alliance Management is making a deal like Monty Hall, or is it Haunty Mall? I think it's Haunty Mall in this case, because the only thing he's making a deal for, And I'm sorry, when you have your name on that many businesses layered like it is, you're probably washing money. It just kind of common sense there, Mr. Carnes. How do you give this guy a contract? I don't get it. How did he get a contract? How did a government agency not pick it up? Oh, it's the government. I forgot. It's the government. They just like to waste our money and give themselves bonuses, I guess. I don't know. But that is the big news in the foreclosure market in property preservation right now. And this is just me, ladies and gentlemen, knowing everything that's behind this right now. When these people come calling, this is how labor makes a statement. And this is how labor can make a statement today, because this company is going to come calling on vendors and contractors and tell them no. Tell them, I'm sorry, man. You guys, you got too much going on in the cookie jar. I don't want to be part of that, because trust me, if this is a money laundering operation with that many businesses going on, if it is a money laundering operation, you're going to be assisting in an illegal act. Unwittingly be part to illegal criminal activity. But you have to be in compliance. Why doesn't he? Why doesn't Mr. Chiney or Chine? Why doesn't Strategic Alliance Management employees have to be in compliance? Perhaps Mr. Miller can give us some insight on that. Mr. Miller, Executive Director, National Association of Mortgage Field Services. Or do we still call you management for stealing? Why isn't this gentleman in compliance? How do you allow this to be a member of the organization? Do you even see the irony here? Do you even see the irony? I don't think you do, because you're too worried about that $120,000 a year. Got to keep the membership so we can keep money going. Strategic Alliance Management. This is the African Democracy Institute, the African Democracy Center Corporation, Center for African Democracy, Incorporated, Institute for Democracy in Africa, Incorporated. Google them and see what you come up with. And then ask yourself, is this somebody I want to be working with? Is this somebody that I want my company associated with? And then send something to Mr. Miller and ask him where his head is on this. Because I'm going to ask you right now, Mr. Miller, we need a response to this. How does this happen? How does this happen? Or are you just so obnoxiously against labor because you're the suit and tie upper echelon of an industry that you don't care? All you're worried about is money? I don't get it. I don't get it. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Mr. Miller, Mr. Mingham, Tony Newman, you're chairman of the International Association of Field Services. Where are you guys on this? What's your thought? What's your opinion? It kind of is important. You're the players in the industry right now. You're the ones lobbying for labor. Mr. Miller, your clients are nothing without labor. Your membership in the National Association of Mortgage Field Services cannot exist without labor. Think about it, labor. Think about it. Just think about it. What happens if everybody in the property preservation industry went on vacation for 10 days? Make somebody think, wouldn't it? Just saying. I'm just saying. But I don't understand, and I don't think it's fair to everybody else in the industry, whether they be a budding company, going to do an order mill, or whatever it's going to be, and especially to labor. This guy gets a contract. It ain't right. It ain't right. But that said, it is time to come to the table and start having a conversation about organizing this industry in a manner that's not illegal, because right now the whole entire industry is illegal and it's upside down, and it's going to stay that way until somebody starts talking about it. Leave a comment down below. Start the conversation. There's room for comments. Start the conversation. Start the conversation. You don't have to be Mr. Miller. You don't have to be Mr. Mingham. And you don't have to be Tony Newman, Mr. Tony Newman of the International Association of Field Service Technicians. You can be you, Joe Blow, the schmo out on the street doing the work. Throw a comment down below. Get it started. What are your ideas? How can we get this industry organized and get in front of what's going to happen? Because I'm telling you right now, Mr. Miller continues to ignore this issue. And I know I said I wasn't going to bang people, but this issue continues to be ignored, and they continue to double down on what's going on. And I'm sorry, but when you have two members of your organization and a third one, and now Northland on a state level, the first two, Buczek, or Buzchek, however you say their name, the thieves, how about we call them that? Because that's what they did. They stole from everybody while they were buying gold coins, thinking they were about sovereign citizenship or something. I don't know. And then you have Field Asset Services, a much larger corporation, traded on the New York Stock Exchange, found guilty of violating employee laws. Northland, up in Minnesota, on a state level, ruled employee status, not an independent contractor. And they used the FAS case. They used the FAS case and Buczek to make that decision. What does that tell you, ladies and gentlemen? What does that tell you? Have you been let go by one of these goofball companies? File unemployment. Stop the madness. File unemployment. Let's get rid of all these in-the-middle people that don't need to be there, like Northland, who isn't licensed in all the states they're conducting business in. And again, this goes back to business development of that goofball organization that has layered the industry to commit fraud. I'm sorry, that's the only reason you do this. The only reason you layer and pyramid things is to generate money for the people at the top and steal from the people at the bottom. That is what a pyramid is about. Only the first ones in make the money. Think about it. So you have 5 or 6 companies at the top that are nationals that get all the work. And then they sub it out to everybody else. And then they sub it out to another group of people. Then they sub it out to another. Come on, that big old pyramid, isn't it? A big old pyramid. Oh, yeah. And the only reason you do that is so these guys up here get the money, these guys down. Sooner or later, that's got to collapse. How many people have gone out of business because of this industry? It's just insane. It really is insane. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Chine, remember that name? He has paid business taxes through the Broward County tax assessors since 2006 on an office at 1911 Northwest 150th Avenue, Suite 202, Pembroke Pines, Florida. Granted, that doesn't jive with his reported 17 years of existence, but it's a start. The Broward County Tax Assessor's Office stated they had no record of a Sam JV LLC located at that address in Pembroke Pines, Florida. How did he get the contract? How did he get a contract? Interesting question. That's what I leave you with today. Happy Memorial Day to those who gave some. Thank you. and to the some that gave all, thank you. Happy Memorial Day, folks. Let's have a great day. Let's all be safe out there. And let's start asking questions. In the description below, I'll have some links. If you can make donations, Foreclosurepedia and Alliday LLC right now are both relying on your assistance to help continue what we're doing and keep going here. Foreclosurepedia.org. That's foreclosurepedia.org. Up to the minute fraud reporting. Got some good stuff over there right now. Really.